Christmas Eve today. It's still cold. I think some of the lake and stuff is actually a bit frozen, not completely though. Are most people just staying home at these times? I know a lot of people in BC are hoping to get that recovery benefit before Christmas time, the $500 to $1,000. Just reading some stats, it says more than 500,000 applications approved for BC recovery benefit. Close to 800,000 British Columbians as of last night. It says here what? Single, 291,863 people. Single with a child, 34,115. Couples and families, 228,101. Total applications, 554,079. Hopefully most people are doing okay during these times though. Although interestingly enough, aside from financial, I know it's mostly isolation that's driving people crazy. Although they do say it's supposed to rain tomorrow. Who knows, if it gets cold enough, maybe it will actually snow. I only had that white Christmas for the 1 year, if you guys remember. Hopefully things will be better than New Year's, huh? And usually with the Christmas time, that means the New Year's is coming. And it was kind of interesting reading this in terms of, I guess, what's going on with the drone in other parts of the world, these regulations. This one says, upcoming policy to require storing of drone footage, which will be open to government scrutiny. You are reading it here first. Drone operators will have to store footage captured by their drones, which will be open to scrutiny by the Indian government under an aerial photography policy currently under the works. This could mean that law enforcement agencies that deploy drones might be potentially required to store footage captured by them. The information was revealed by Amber Dubey, Joint Secretary at Civil Aviation Ministry, during a call with industry representatives on Wednesday. The policy is currently being streamlined with the help from our friends in MOD and MHA, Dubey added. Now they're claiming this is because of concerns on what drones pose for privacy and security. And it says here, we asked this question in context of several instances of unregulated drone use by law enforcement agencies, such as over CAA protesters last year and over the ongoing farmers' protests. According to India's current aerial photography policy, aerial photography from drones is not permitted unless a clearance has been secured from the DGCA, India's civil aviation regulator. However, currently there is no need to store a record of the drone footage. It's kind of interesting reading that because in other parts of the world, like North America, people want reassurance that if they have no use of the footage, like with police, they would erase it or whatever. Whereas this one, I guess they're saying they want them to keep it as proof to show that they're not doing anything bad with it, I suppose. Although some of these quotes, even though it's a New Year's, it seems like some things aren't going to change, so to speak. It says here, we are very conscious of all the data issues and it will be completely taken care of, Dewey added. Anyways, we have basic rules like Papa Bravo Victor, we call it people, building, vehicle. So you can't take your drone over people, buildings, and vehicles, and you have to maintain safety distances, he said. I mean, you could possibly put some drone outside my bedroom and capture the things I do. So we are very, very conscious of the destructive power of drones. You see so many funny videos on the internet which have been clandestinely taken from the ground. So imagine with an aerial camera, God knows what all candid pictures you can capture. So we're very conscious it will be ruthlessly struck down. Amber Dubey, Joint Secretary, Civil Aviation Ministry. And basically implying in the quote, more drones need to be brought under regulatory fold. That mindset, when will people get rid of that? Put this right up to like your house or your bedroom or something like that and spy on you? Who does that? Are you, for example, the police or something say, hey, let me investigate? It just makes me think, in terms of coming up with regulations for things like drones, I think the number one priority should be, you need new blood. Doesn't matter what part of the world you're in. You need some modern day people to show you how it's like and how people use it in the majority of the way. Can you imagine if we did this for regular things like cameras, like their smartphones and all that? Imagine with this smartphone, it actually has like a telephoto zoom. This camera doesn't, my drone doesn't. So people need to get rid of that fear mongering. Haven't we learned anything with things like racism and prejudice and all that this year? It's basically constantly stereotyping, using these things you see in the media as a way to stereotype people. You need to get rid of that mindset, in my opinion. And what the heck? crazy. You can see it chasing a squirrel in a tree. What a cool shot. There's a perfect example too. This camera, the one on the phone, had a telephoto. This one didn't. Which one could you quote spy more? And look at the one that I used the drone to capture that coyote chasing the squirrel. It's so far away. I thought the comment yesterday was interesting about the cameras. You guys have said the right side is the best by 100,000 times, so for sure, there's no doubt. This was kind of interesting because for this person here, I believe before, you consistently chose the smartphone's the better one. The one on the right again was the action camera. So yeah, it comes a lot down to various environment factors too. Because I believe a factor with the other one is because you can actually see more of the top and the bottom, I believe, with the action camera. And since everything's on auto, you can see more of the sky at times when it's bright, so it compensates, which makes everything else darker as well. So in that sense, maybe that's why it doesn't look as sharp. Just shows you how many different factors there could be on what camera would be the best. Although I guess the sentiment is true, the best camera is the one that will help you get the perfect shot, so to speak, in the right circumstance, right? I guess today's a perfect example. 3 different types of cameras. The action camera, the smartphone, and then the drone. Alright, see you guys later.